Okay, Rick, we got a tough one here, mate. We have 100, 110 yards, side hill slope. Lie's okay, but we've got a tree in front of us. Looks like a water hazard short, a bunker, a green we can't see, a bunker over the back.
What's the problem?
What do we do here? What do we do here?
Well, the first thing is that it's not about positive thinking and say it's a 110-yard shot, I got to hit it 110 yard. We have factors that have to come into play, for sure. I always start with lie first. Like you said, the ball's sitting up, but we have a ball above our feet. We have a combination that may go high, may go left, and we have now what's in front of us. So we're going like piece at a time. How do I get past first issue first? Do I have enough loft on this? Is this lie going to affect a ball flight? Where's my starting point? Where's it going to end point? Because I think what people do is they kind of get greedy because it's a 110-yard shot. It's a wedge in my hand. Okay, but you got a lie and you've got stuff. If you get greedy on the right-hand side, you're going to make double or triple in a heartbeat. So I look at decision-making first before we talk about execution. The other thing is, again, back to we get greedy from different yardages. This is a very small target. And we have to now kind of play scenarios out. If I do blank, then this happens. Well, if I go right, I'm literally going to make double bogey. I'm in the trees. There is a water hazard in front.
And we don't even need to go that far, right? Like, I could hit a pretty well perfect shot with the trajectory that I'm picturing in my mind. And if I just clip one of those little olive branch looking leaves, then I'm just down in front of us and we've got an even harder shot.
Correct. Yet if we look at the other equation, we say, well, this lie may go left and I have bunkers to the left. Oh, I don't want to go in the bunkers. I'd much rather be in that bunker than in the water hazard. So you're trying to go in a decision tree. If blank happens, which one is the better shot? This is not necessarily about me hitting it to 15 feet at all. It's about how do I kind of my next chess piece, where do I move it to? So I would go decision making first, then for all you out there, be realistic with your talents and your skills.
Manage the expectations of a shot like this.
Even though it's 110 yards and the ball's sitting up, that lie would affect balance enough for people. They haven't practiced that enough. Is that going to come out more left? Is that going to come out low, high? They may not know that. Balance is going to suffer. And so I would be extremely conservative in this play, even with a player in a single digits, honestly.
And Rick teaches Colin Morikawa, right? And longtime coach, and even Colin standing here, if you ignore the highlight reel of the PGA Tour of the shots that you see, every single professional golfer would step up here and they would go through a considerable stage of more assessment and managing their expectations on their shot than they would for something which is 5 meters over there to our right? So standing here, we're managing our expectations that we're not going to try and hit a perfect shot right next to the pin. Left is certainly better than right. Now, assessing the lie from there, we've got uphill, side hill, so the ball's above our feet and we've got trouble in front of us. How do we then put ourselves into such a state to execute along those lines, taking those into account?
So I think we have what we call a cognitive side first, is we're doing all the math problem here first. But I think this is where practice swings become vitally important, more so than a flat approach shot. I would try a few different models here. Do I grip down? Do I stand taller? And see where the low point is, right? We've talked a lot about that, is the ability for that club to find a low point, so now we can put the ball there. So if do a little practice swing just a couple inches away and start to feel where the balance wants. Try to, again, feel that, and do you have to make adjustments? Do we have to grip down? Do we have to change stance? Do we have to change ball position? That's going to come from a practice swing. It's not going to come from just the thinking.
And so with hand-eye coordination, the contact on that was pretty reasonable for the shot that I want to play. However, I started off with my hands at the top of the club, and for me to do that, I felt like I was actually backing away and I fell down the slope. So be aware of how your body feels in space through the shot as well. Like, was that balance? Was that close to along the lines of what we want to achieve here? So I'm going to grip down a little bit here, Rick, with a 54-degree wedge I've got for this one. Let's go again. That felt better.
Awesome. And that helps confidence, right? We've made a decision. We've rehearsed the decision. We go, that's exactly what I want. Now we can step into it with confidence instead of, I don't know where this is going to go. I hope it is solid. Good luck, right? So let's put that together now and tell me what is the intention of shot here.
if I was going through my pre-shot routine. Now, ball above your feet is generally going to encourage the ball to start a little bit further left, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start it right.
Yes.
I'm not going to aim at that tree because, look, worst possible miss, it's going to hit that and then hit Rick on the way down. So we're going to stand, and I'm going to aim, Rick, I'm going to aim at that back left bunker.
Yes.
Just to the left of the palm by the looks of it.
Wonderful.
So let's say about 20 foot to the left of the pin.
Okay.
It's pretty much just over this red hazard marker
so
in front of us.
Intermediate, right?
Yeah.
And what's that ball going to do in the air?
So visualization for this, I'm going to see it kind of go above this first limb of trees that kind of kicks out, probably in that window between those two.
Got it.
Now, through a lifetime of playing golf, I have a relative awareness of trajectory of this sort of shot. So for me, I'm relatively confident it's going to go through there. But for recreational golfers at home, that big window over there is much more desirable.
That's a very good point that I want to make, is that sometimes with calling out shots, we say aim small, miss small. But in this case, I want you to give yourself a big enough window. Yeah. Right? It doesn't have to be that specific because we have some space. It gives us some freedom to go through. So I really like that a lot.
Okay, great. Pressure's on. Okay, so I'm gripping down slightly. I've got a feel for this. I'm going to pick that. You know what? I'm going to change my mind on this. I'm going to go a little bit further left after that discussion. Got my intermediate target, which is just in front, on line with my big target out in front. Now over the ball here, Rick, I like to visualize the green as a bird's eye view.
Love it.
And then that puts me into a position where I see a lot more of the green stuff rather than all the trouble in front.
Love it.
Let's hit the shot. Okay, so look, I pulled that a long way and I'm in the bunker.
Right.
I could be frustrated, I could be angry. What do we do from here?
Well, I think one, we talked about the two scenarios. That was the better option of a miss than the other one. Okay. Were you committed to the shot over it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So mentally we did what was required.
Yep.
Now, if we did a do-over right now, would you change anything now that you know what you know?
Yes, but no two shots in golf are the same, and it's a very different lie to the one that I just had.
Okay.
And also, I would be making a reaction to the previous shot, which would be a micromanagement, which I think is not a good long-term solution to it. I would just deal with the shot that I executed.
Well, sure. Yet, if you came back to me and said, Rick, I was fearful over the shot in the first place and I bailed out left, then that's a mental game before it was ever technical.
Yeah.
But if you said, no, I was committed to it,
yeah,
and then the ball may have gone more left than you thought,
correct,
to me it's a learning experience. Like, oh, if I have that in the future, even with a wedge in my hand, it's still going to move left. It's a feedback loop that can help me make a decision in the future.
Yeah.
So when I do on-course lessons, I do try to get the second ball as close to what the first one was.
Yeah.
And you're right, you can make micro changes. It's not about fixing anything. It's about, if I had to do it over again, would it have been a different decision for you?
Yeah, different execution.
Execution.
Yeah.
So decision, you took in the information correctly.
Yeah.
Made a good decision, great, put that to the side.
Yeah.
Now the execution side is more about, it could be gripping down, it could be setup, it could be playing, it could be what would be the minor thing.
I'm going to hit more of a punch shot to make sure the face doesn't turn over as much.
Wonderful.
Because I feel like my alignment was good, just from the sensation as the club face was closing too much. Combine that with the ball was above my feet, left me in a position where I pulled it left.
But I think back to what you said is that initial reaction may be of disappointment and frustration. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn that critical voice into curiosity of, if I had to do over, would I have done anything differently, so I can put that club in the bag and go, next time I would have done blank.
Yeah.
I'm not fixing anything, but instead of, I can't believe that ball went left, and then you get emotional, now you got to hit this bunker shot, you're still mad you're in the bunker. Now we could make some big numbers when it was an emotional reaction to it. So let's learn from the shot without being critical.
Okay, I'm going to step into this shot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a little bit more of a punch shot. I'm feeling like the arms are a little bit longer through the ball, and they're going to finish a little bit lower. I know the trajectory of that's not going to change drastically. We're going to have to change my start line, but I'm going to hit more of a punch shot. I'm feeling that through the ball. Off we go. Look, maybe 2 yards further right than where it was. Execution felt much better though.
Wonderful. And this gets back to expectations.
Yeah.
You're a really good player who knows what to do, and you're still going to potentially miss the green half the time.
Yeah.
Even from 110 yards.
Yeah.
So everybody out there who's not as good, you better be able to plan for, I'm going to go left for sure.
Yeah.
You could even make sure I get good contact in front of that bunker and be able to manage this. You put yourself in the spot, we're now managing ourselves to where bogey would be now the worst score.
Yeah. Love it.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching this video. YouTube thinks that you would benefit from watching this one next. So click that card and it could be the tip that you need to take your game to the next level. I'll see you next time.